This is the 9th generation of the Toyota Hilux, codenamed AN230. This is the double cab and the name itself is a misnomer because Hilux stands for high luxury. But Toyota's gone ahead and removed a lot of features from this car when compared to its predecessor. So yes, this is not a Hilux, this is a low lux because of low luxury. I don't know why they're trying to position it as a luxury car because this is a very rugged and capable vehicle. Anyways, this is the key of the vehicle. Doesn't get any chrome finish or piano black or gloss black. It's just plain and simple. Lock the car, unlock the car, the Toyota logo, that's it. The Toyota logo is important because the car doesn't get many Toyota logos. But before we start, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve 1 Citrus. It's a blend of fresh lemon, lime and orange perfumes. It smells awesome, brings in instant freshness in the car. It's super easy to regulate. You can regulate it like this. It does not leak at all and you can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. Click on the top right corner of the screen right now, or you can get it in the next 10 minutes on Blinkit. So just check the link in the pinned comment. Straight away, let's open the engine bay because even though they call this a new generation model, this is more like a facelift because only design changes and feature changes have been done to this car. No mechanical changes as such. That's the reason the engine stays the same as before. Okay, no gas struts, very heavy bonnet. There's insulation there, the same engine as before. Oh, Toyota logo here, wow, lot of vibrations, lot of sound from the engine, and bang, it closes. Now in terms of design, it looks very modern. Toyota branding here with a gloss black panel right there, honeycomb treatment right there, front parking camera. This looks like a radar. It is not, does not get any ADAS only. There is no rain sensor, there is no lane keep assist either, but lot of open area for better breathing, and you get dual horns as well. This is not painted, you get this silver finishing. The number plate has become a bit crooked here. And of course, the lights are quite nice because they are slim. They are all LED units. This is the projector. This is the indicator, which is also the DRL. And it says Hilux on the inside. I don't know what this treatment is or why, but that looks quite funky. And here you get the fog lamps. You get 2 parking sensors at the front. No, not 4, but just 2 parking sensors at the front. And Toyota's gone ahead and put this particular accessory on this car, which is misleading because you are not going to get your car with this off-road branded accessory because obviously this car is very much customizable from Toyota as well as others too. Now in terms of tire size, it is 265, 65, 70 inch. So tire size is reduced by 1 because the older model had 18-inch wheels. Alloy wheel design not very adventurous. This is finished in black. You get this body cladding here. Hilux branding, which is actually in gloss black. This is also in gloss black, but the roof is not in gloss black. This is also in gloss black, the door handles. And request sensor is there on both the sides, which is quite cool. Now in terms of length, this car is actually shorter by 5 mm because the length, which is slightly more than 5.3 meters, is reduced because of slight revisions to the bumper. The wheelbase remains the same as before, which is almost 3.1 meters. So size wise, nothing has changed. Mechanically, nothing has changed. They've just given it updates to the design to make it look fresher. You get this side footstep, which is important. Fuel goes in right here. Says diesel, yeah baby. And it says Hilux here with this nice thingy as well. I don't know what is this bar called, but it has that. Now you have the Toyota logo on the wheels because the car doesn't get many Toyota logos. And straight away, let me tell you, the problem with pickup trucks is rear seat experience is very poor. And why is it poor? Because very upright seating. Because the design is such, seating is super upright. Now you can actually put this seat up. How do you do that? You put it from here and then you can put it up in order to carry items here, but they have removed leather seats. Now you get fabric seats, which is quite surprising. Getting in is difficult. Here it says Hilux, which is actually illuminated, so you have to really climb into the car. This handle comes into handy here. In terms of space, not great at all. You get magazine holder here. You get a 4 kg hook as well on both the sides. No rear AC vents. That's also not there, which is there in the previous model. 2 USB-C charging sockets, a hump here, so 3 people are not comfortable. Center passenger does get a head rest and you get a center armrest as well with 2 cup holders, but seat is just way too upright here. You get height adjustable seat belts and the dashboard, it's completely new and looks quite funky as well. Door pockets are decent sized, lot of hard plastics everywhere. Okay, this is soft material, otherwise a lot of hard plastics, and they should have given rear sun blinds. There's another handle to hold on to here. There's obviously no sunroof. Toyota hates sunroofs, especially with the IMV platform vehicles like the Innova, Krista, the Fortuner, and obviously this car as well. So rear seat experience is very poor because, like I was telling you, legroom is poor. Yeah, very poor legroom, knee room, foot room and all is also poor. In fact, under thigh support is also poor. Headroom is the only thing which seems to be adequate enough. This is a place for your enemies, not for your friends. That's how it is. Anyways, let me shut this with some enthusiasm. It's soft close. Yeah, that's kind of cool. They have this footstep to climb into. That's quite nice as well. And if you notice at the rear, again no Toyota logo, but you have this engraving on Toyota on the boot or the tailgate, and Hilux written here on the handle, which is damped, so it has this hydraulic function to it. Smooth. Now they have increased the payload capacity of this particular bed by 30 kgs to 500 kgs. I think it can take a lot more, but Toyota's like, we don't want people or the government to classify this car as a commercial vehicle. You've got 4 hooks here. That is the warning triangle of the car, and the bed is obviously helping you to carry a lot of stuff. However, you can get an accessory, close this, whatever. You can even make a toilet if you want. Yeah, this is the capability of the Hilux. The sky is the limit in terms of modification. Here you get a camera. This is a bit on the higher side. You know what? To put in stuff, it's on the higher side. That's the only problem. Otherwise, you don't have much to complain about. You get 4 parking sensors at the rear, 2 at the front, 4 at the rear. I don't know what the math. And here you get the exhaust. Meanwhile, spare wheel is not an alloy. It's not the easiest to use or remove as well. Here you notice one thing. This is the brake light. This is actually the rear fog, only on one side. This is the indicator, which is halogen. What is wrong with you, Toyota? And this is the reverse light. But I'm sure they have taken this 4x4 badging from the Thar. It looks awfully similar to the Thar actually. And you get leaf springs. The suspension is the same as before as well. What has Toyota really done? Just made the car look better in terms of aesthetics. You get a shark fin antenna, finished in gloss black as well. They have gone ahead and removed powered seat as well. What? So this is a 6-way manual adjust. That is a 4-way manual adjust. And door pockets are decent size at the front. 1 touch up and down power windows for all the doors. Some soft material has been given here, but no leather seats, which is surprising at this price point. You get adjustment for the mirrors here, and it tells you how to use the DPF. Well, it also gets the cup holders like before. 1 on this side, 1 on that side as well, which is practical because it will cool your drink too. A lot of buttons here and a lot of dummies as well. This is for the 220 volt AC charger, this is for DPF regen, and this is for the parking camera, this is for fuel lid, and this is to open the hood of the vehicle. You get a proper dead pedal as well, and you get this foot light too, which is quite cool. Seats are okay, they are not great, but come on, at this price you expect better for sure. Like I was telling you, the Toyota logos have vanished. On the steering you have the Toyota branding, not the Toyota logo. No. Getting in and out can be easy if you use this handle here. Get 7 airbags, another handle here. And this is the microphone. There is no mirror or light here, does not extend either. There is a mirror on this side though. There are 2 glove boxes, one on the top which has the cheap first aid kit, and there's one at the bottom which is lockable, which again doesn't have the cooling function. Yeah, it's a bit flimsy as well. So you get light placement here on the top, halogen light. You get a lot of lights here as well. This seems to be LED. You get a sunglass holder as well, but obviously no sunroof, which is kind of disappointing. No auto dimming mirror. They've removed the auto dimming mirror as well because they've actually offered us the Hilux in a lower variant when compared to its predecessor. In fact, the AC is not a dual zone climate control. It's a single zone manual AC, which is quite surprising. You have 1 cup holder here. In the old model you had 2 cup holders. This is actually for keeping your key. This is to keep this awesome car perfume for involved essences. Here you got storage space with a laptop charger as well, 2-pin charger along with a 12 volt charging socket. Physical handbrake. Gear lever feels nice to hold, but there is no manual anymore. There's a wireless charging pad here, 2 USB-C charging sockets. One also connects to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. By the way, it gets Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wireless. It gets an 8-speaker system, which is kind of horrendous. There's 1 dummy button here, traction control button, downhill assist, and this to lock the rear diff. It gets multi-terrain select, for which you have to be in 4 high or 4 low. Once it's activated, you can go through multiple multi-terrain modes in this car, and there are quite a few multi-terrain modes in this car, which alters a lot of things like traction control and obviously the 4-wheel drive system and stuff. So yeah, multi-terrain select in this car, quite cool. Now it's engaged. Now we can see there's deep snow, mud, sand, dirt, and auto. So this switch is making it easy to get into 4-wheel drive mode or whichever mode you want, and there are 3 drive modes as well, so you can obviously get them into sport, normal, and eco, which is the same when compared to before. Now what has increased is the size of the infotainment screen. Earlier it was 8 inches, now it's 10.25 inches. It's a very disappointing screen. I don't know who made the screen because it's so plain and basic. You can browse through this particular menu which tells you the speed, brightness, contrast, and there are 3 themes as well, which again looks quite basic, to be honest. There's some physical buttons here, but they should have a rotary knob now, which would make it much easier to go through volume, but this is how they have done it. I don't like it, honestly. I mean, it feels like it's from the 1990s because it is, but you can get some information which happens to be the information on what's the fuel efficiency and driving time, and that's about it. That's so freaking basic. Yeah, kind of cheaped out on the infotainment system. It could have been a lot better. In fact, when you come into the camera mode, you see this is the 360-degree parking camera. Quality again is very poor. There are multiple modes. This is the front side view, but the quality is very poor. I come into reverse. There are adaptive guidelines, but the overall quality of the camera is so bad. I didn't expect it to be this bad. All the Toyota cameras are like really poor in terms of quality and resolution, so that's a bit disappointing. You get a lot of hard plastics almost everywhere, so this is more utility based car than luxury, even though it is known as the Hilux, which is high luxury. This is an 8-inch instrument cluster which tells you the engine temperature here, fuel meter here, and you get this digital data. You can browse through a lot of stuff here. So there's pitch and roll, there's obviously the traction monitor, tire pressure monitor, trip meters are there, and it will also give you the drive info, AdBlue levels, battery temperature, battery charge and stuff. Basically it's loaded in that sense, but again there's not much here. You can adjust the brightness, you can obviously turn on and off the parking assist, vehicle settings, and then in meter settings now you can actually go here and change the cluster mode. So there are 3 meter styles as well, which is smart, tough and sporty, which is weird, the naming. And you can turn this tachometer into a speedometer if you want. I've applied brakes, so this red light comes here. Yeah, it's a very basic cluster. I don't like it. They could have done a lot better. It looks like it's cost cutting wala, because it is, and there you have more information on the fuel efficiency of the car. Wow, how basic can it get? It can get very basic as per Toyota, because I can see that. Now the steering has the Toyota branding instead of the logo. No flat bottom treatment and doesn't need it. This is for the cruise control. This is basically for audio system, and this is for volume, this is for voice command, and this is to operate this particular screen. This is to pick up a call and this is to go back. Meanwhile, this is for the wipers and this is for the headlights. Headlights get the automatic function, thankfully. Steering is adjustable both for reach as well as rake. This is the engine start button. There is no button for start because the car doesn't have it. And that's it. Let's give it the beans. Alright, it's time to drive the car, which means let's turn it on. It says check rear seat. Oh, that's weird. And nobody's going to sit at the rear seat, so who really cares? Welcome driver one. Let me change the driver. Blank, blank, blank. It doesn't have memory seat. So what is this? A feature they forgot to remove. Toyota brand logo came here. Doesn't do the full swipe up thingy here, which is kind of surprising. Let's turn on the fuel efficiency meter here. Straight away, let's come into sport drive mode. I come into drive. I turn off traction control as well. I don't know why such a old school, difficultly or poorly designed instrument cluster which just doesn't work. And air conditioning off. Traction control, traction control is already off. Hazard lights off. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, 2000 RPM, burn out, and off we go. Oh yeah. Now notice at 60 kilometers per hour, traction control usually automatically turns on if you press it once. If you keep it pressed, it doesn't turn on at all. And 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, I did not reach. This meter is having a lot of error. Anyways, the engine is the same as before. It is a 2.8 liter unit. It's a diesel which powers the Fortuner and also the older Hilux, which means 204 PS of power and 500 Newton meters of torque. Trust me, performance is very good here. It's very likable because there's good amount of grunt lower down, so low end performance is good, turbo lag is well contained, and the mid range is really nice and juicy as well. So definitely this car performs really well in terms of outright acceleration, and even when you're driving it on the highway, you can do good speeds without hesitation because the engine is phenomenal here. But now there is no manual, which means you have 500 Newton meters of torque consistent. In the manual there was 420 Newton meters of torque. I don't know why they reduced 80 Newton meters with the manual. Makes no logical sense. Earlier there was no two-wheel drive. Now you have two-wheel drive, which costs rupees 2 lakhs less. Do not get the two-wheel drive because then you will become the butt of all jokes. Buying a Hilux and having two-wheel drive, is going to make you in the same comical sequence as, say, the Thar rear-wheel drive one. Yeah, makes no logical sense. Now, this is a 6-speed torque converter gearbox, which is smooth with shifts. It's not very urgent, but there are no paddle shifters. Yeah, there are no paddle shifters. And you can take manual control of the gearbox from here and shift. And you know what? It holds on to a gear. It will not upshift unless and until you decide to do so. So it will hold on to a gear all the way to 4,600 RPM, which is quite nice. Now, the engine is a bit boomy. It's a bit loud. It revs more and moves less. That's the funny part here. And this car has, look, it's holding on to a gear. It will not upshift unless and until I decide to do so, giving me complete manual control of things, which is actually quite cool. Now, this car will return around 7 to 9 kilometers per liter of fuel efficiency, which ain't bad. This obviously will reduce if you come into 4-wheel drive modes, because then obviously it will drink a lot more fuel. However, it has an 80-liter fuel tank, which is decent size, which means that you can obviously drive this car for long without any hesitation whatsoever. The problem though is the length of the car. It is so freaking long. I am right now in Jaipur, and you won't believe it, I just crossed Jaipur, but the remaining part of the car, the rear part of the car, is still in Delhi now because the car is so damn freaking long. It's unbelievably long, which makes it very cumbersome to drive. In fact, the bigger problem is with parking, because to find a parking for this car is not difficult. It's almost impossible. It takes 2 car spaces. That's how big it is. So this car is a no-no in the city. It just is too cumbersome to drive. And then, of course, it has a hydraulic steering. There is no electric power steering, which is very heavy, so requires a lot of effort to twirl as well, which means that when you're driving this car in the city, you have to make sure that you had your protein in the morning. Otherwise, it's just so difficult to drive it because of the heavy weight of the steering. Let's do the wiper test. There's plenty of spray. It was raining some time back and I was like, oh, I need a rear wiper. Obviously, pickup trucks do not get a rear wiper. And turning radius has actually reduced from 6.4 meters to 6.3 meters, but still quite a lot, because when you're turning, although you have reached the other lane, half of the car is still in the previous lane, which makes it very cumbersome. And when you come over bad roads, you realize, oh my god, yeah, the ride is pathetic. It's horrendous because firstly, body and frame, which gives it lumpiness, and leaf springs, which gives it the bounciness. So leaf springs only work if there's a lot of weight in the rear bed. There's no front bed, so just in the bed, if there's weight, then leaf springs work much better with load. When you are going empty, my goodness, the ride becomes so terrible. You question your life's decision. What are you even doing? Because it consistently moves. Okay, let's come into this pitch meter here. Moves a lot, feels very bouncy, very uncomfortable. So the ride is not good. The handling is also not good because there's obviously a lot of body roll. And this car definitely feels slightly better in terms of ride quality when compared to before because of the move to 17-inch wheels, which means 65 profile tires. Earlier it was 60 profile tires. That makes a minor difference, not much of a difference as such, but honestly, this isn't a car to be driven spiritedly. And then you might wonder that why is he even talking about highway performance, because it's not just about off-road. A lot of people are going to end up with the two-wheel drive variant are like, hame Ladakh jana chala ke. And when they are out on the highway, they realize, oh my god, the car wanders around everywhere. The horn is so bad here. It's quite pathetic, the horn. People are waving to me, I don't know why. Yeah, hello, hi, how are you? I'm also good, you too. I couldn't have made that turn. I couldn't have made the overtake because even though the car is relatively fast, it just is so long now that you need to factor in double the car length to actually be able to overtake effortlessly. Okay, now let's test the 0 to 100 km/h acceleration. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Notice around 2000 RPM, we do a burnout. Yep, we do a burnout, which also gives me more grip, and off we go. Boomy, upshifting at around 4,500 RPM, and that's 0 to 100 km/h. Come on, in 11.14 seconds. In fact, I've done sub 10 second timing as well with a slight slope. So yes, the engine performs quite good here. There's also a 2.7 litre VVTi petrol engine, which is offered abroad, not in India, thankfully, because firstly, we don't want a gas guzzler. This already drinks a lot of gas. And secondly, I don't want to go and focus on buying a petrol car and then deciding how much sugar content is there in my fuel. So thanks, I don't want a petrol car. I want diesel, because diesel power is just amazing because of the torque rush, obviously. Now, this car also gives you a preview of what to expect with the Fortuner, because obviously the new gen Fortuner will be similar to this new gen Hilux as well, which means that the driving feel will be retained. I thought it will become smoother and more refined. No, it drives the same as before, which means there's the Rudba, which means there's the driving feel, and obviously it It does wander around, which is something people like. And being a ladder frame, you will go bouncy all over the place. The thing is, you might get rattled. The car will never get rattled because it's just so rugged and built to last that you can power through at any speed. Let me turn on the traction control, otherwise it will continuously show me the traction control warning on the instrument cluster, which is just so freaking stupid. So expect the new gen Fortuner to be better in terms of design, but hopefully they don't delete features and give us a sunroof finally. The thing is here, why am I asking for features? Because the earlier Hilux had it. So why does the new one not have those features? Which makes no sense. Now the entry level variant, which is the GX, starts at rupees 39 lakhs for the 4x2, which is the entry level price, going all the way to 44.66 lakhs for this one, which is a 4-wheel drive VX, which means that a ZX will come with all those features, priced at almost rupees 50 lakhs on road. So prices have gone up, but the features have gone down, which makes this car much more expensive when compared to before. See how it moves. Oh my goodness, the sound, the rattling and the movement is just too much. So obviously you're not supposed to drive this car spiritedly because it's not designed to be pushed hard. It is meant to just gobble up miles and carry as much luggage, and maybe also customize it by putting a tent behind, or even you can make a house, put a shower, toilet, you name it. Everything is possible with the Hilux. The sky is the limit in terms of accessories, which is a good thing because at the end of the day, this is a lifestyle vehicle, which means people are not going to drive it daily. And if you're not going to drive it daily, you're not really going to worry about small things like turning radius, ride quality and all those things, because at the end of the day, it obviously suffers in that regard. We shall make this quick overtake. We shall make it. Yes, we can. because this was moving, that's why we could. Otherwise, the length of the car wouldn't permit me to enter that lane only. And the brakes, they are not that great. They're offering drums in 2026 at the rear, which is very weird. Just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, of course, the Hilux is a legend. It was first launched in 1968, which means it's more than 60 years old. It's very old. I can't even calculate how old it is. 30 plus 30. Now almost around, say 30. Yeah, somewhere around that 60 years probably could be the age of this car. And trust me on this, it is indestructible. The major reason why you would buy this car is because of its indestructibility. It's a car which will outlast any other car because it is built so strong. You know, Top Gear did that challenge. Obviously, Toyota paid for it. Otherwise, who would spend so much money on production to just show that the Hilux is so good in terms of ruggedity, durability? But it's a durable car. It's a car which will not break down. It's a car which will keep going on and on and on and on. And that's why it's a no-frills, basic car, which obviously will gobble up the miles and never let you down. And that is the essence of a Hilux. It's a car which is built to last. It is a car which does a lot of good things. The only thing is it's not practical or comfortable, and at that price you kind of question your decision of buying it because you expect some sort of practicality at least. Turning radius is so massive. Yeah, that's crazy. Look at it. You keep turning, power, boomy, and off we go. So there are 3 drive modes. There's Eco, Normal and Sport. Eco obviously dulls down the power. Normal obviously gives you a good blend of power and performance and efficiency, I mean. And obviously in sport mode it gives you even more grunt, which is something you probably would need if you have many people on board along with their luggage as well. So engine does its job very well without a doubt. It's just that the suspension is not able to cope up at all. Let's try and launch and see how it accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour, because we need to do better. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Notice burnout time. And off we go. Now notice at 60 traction control will automatically turn on. If you keep it pressed, it will turn it off completely and will not turn on when you cross 60 as well. And 0 to 100 km per hour in 10.27 seconds. So yes, this is a quick car. Now, more than 20 million units have been sold across the globe, which is 190 countries. But remember one thing, Hilux is largely sold in the commercial vehicle segment as well, because if you go to Dubai, you'll see a lot of Hiluxes doing commercial vehicle work. And that sense, you realize that this is a car which is more of a lifestyle vehicle for personal operators and more of a workhorse for commercial operators, and sort of gives you the best of both worlds. And I kind of feel that they should have offered more features or a more attractive price, and they failed to do either. So probably just wait for the ZX variant of this car, which will hopefully have more features for sure. It's fun to drive, but I'd rather get the Fortuner at this price point. Why would I lug that big bed and also figure out parking every time I come to a halt? Now that's something you don't have to do with the Fortuner. Although the Fortuner has more features. So yes, even if you pay a slight premium for the Fortuner, it is completely worth it. What bad quality camera. I don't understand how Toyota tries to charge so much money yet give us such basic stuff at times. Just doesn't make any sense. Camera will not turn on. Huh? Once you're in motion, camera simply does not turn on only. And I miss paddle shifters like crazy. That's another basic feature. How can you omit paddle shifters? I just don't understand. But this is a very durable car, very capable car. Just like the Fortuner, it can go anywhere, obviously. But the thing is, anything the Fortuner can do, this can also do it quite easily. But how many people will actually go and take it off-road? Toyota realizes that, and that's the reason they have given us 4x2. Toyota also realizes that there was very little demand for manual because everyone's become lazy and nobody wants to shift gears. And on that disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. I mean, just buy it now. What are you doing? Click on the top right corner of the screen right now. The Involve One Citrus. Bye-bye. The brakes are not good, yeah. Obviously, that weight and the suspension, nothing works in terms of dynamics. अरे ये क्या हो गया? किसका गिरा फोन?